Welcome back to Caffeine Fueled Adventures. I decided, since I've never ridden a train before, that I was going to ride the Amtrak Capital Limited to Washington, D.C. The Capital Limited line starts in Chicago, but I picked it up in South Bend, Indiana. As you can tell, the station in South Bend is not quite as large or as grand as the one in Chicago, if you've ever been to Chicago's Union Station. But it does the trick, and I hopped on, and I was the only one getting on in South Bend. I was worried because I'd never been on a train before, so I didn't know where to go, but the staff was all so friendly and very helpful. They walked me right to the car I was supposed to be on and showed me where I'm supposed to sit and everything. So it wasn't a problem at all. I rode in coach, mostly because it was the cheapest, but the seats were comfy, and I got lucky. Part of the ride I did have somebody next to me, but most of it I had the whole back row to myself. And there's a lot of space, there's a lot of leg room, and the seats do go back pretty far. That being said, I think if I was doing another overnight train ride, I'd like to try having a roomette next time. As you can see, most of the night it was dark and I was sleeping most of the trip. Morning, we woke up in Pittsburgh. The Capital Limited doesn't have a dining car. It just has a cafe car. So you go up to the cafe car and go up to the counter, order what you want, and it's prepackaged food and drinks. I ordered a coffee, of course, because I need some caffeine for my caffeine-fueled adventure, and a blueberry muffin that was in a package, but they did heat it up in a microwave for me. So that is the kind of food to expect on this train. Some of them have dining cars where you can actually sit and have a meal cooked for you. This is not one of those lines that does that, but it was good. As you can tell, we had some beautiful scenery along the way, and I really enjoyed not having to drive and getting to just sit there and watch the scenery go by. We arrived in Washington, D.C. a little after 1:30 in the afternoon. And as you can see, it's way more intricate and beautiful than the South Bend station. Basically has a mall inside it. There's a food court and all kinds of shops and everything. The Amtrak's there, and also the Greyhound station's there. So I took the metro. The Union Station metro is just outside Union Station. But I took the metro up to Ben's Chili Bowl for lunch, since it's an iconic place and I've never been there. The original location on U Street in Washington, D.C. opened in 1958, way before I was born. I got the famous half smoke and some fries, and it was pretty good, which is saying a lot because I'm from Cincinnati, so I had to compare it to Skyline Chili. I intended to do a lot more walking around, but it was 90 degrees that day, so I pretty much stuck to the Capitol area because that's close to the Union Station. And then I decided in the evening to do a trolley tour called Monuments by Moonlight. During the day, I walked past the Library of Congress and the Supreme Court building. And then I walked past the Capitol building also on my way back to Union Station to pick up the Monuments by Moonlight trolley. Now, the trolley company that I use, they do have hop-on, hop-off trolley tickets that you can buy during the day. But this Monuments by Moonlight is a little different. You stay on the same trolley the whole time, and they take you to different monuments in the evening. Before my trolley tour, I decided just to grab something to eat in the food court at Union Station, and I met a little friend there. I think he's a pretty smart bird. I mean, he stayed in from the heat and got some food. On the Monuments by Moonlight tour, I got to go to one of the places that I've always wanted to go but haven't been able to yet, the FDR Memorial. It was very interesting, especially how big it was, considering he said that he didn't want a memorial any bigger than his desk. One thing I will point out is that the Monuments by Moonlight tour does stop at several monuments and let you get off and walk around for a little bit. Another thing is they have 2 locations where you can be picked up and dropped off from your trip. I chose Union Station because that's where I was going to be afterwards. The other place is the Welcome Center. After my tour, I had a 5-hour wait till the Greyhound bus came to take me to Myrtle Beach. That was an interesting wait and an interesting bus ride, to say the least. But I did get to see a beautiful sunrise over Richmond, Virginia, and the Cape Fear River in North Carolina. I was very happy to make it to Myrtle Beach and get some sleep after 2 days of none. Thanks for joining me for another caffeine-fueled adventure.